What's good YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul and welcome to another remake video. Today we'll be remaking Lil Uzi Vert's track Sanguine Paradise, so let's get straight to it. First things first, let's go ahead and set the tempo to 135 beats per minute. And we're going to start off with the main piano sound that kind of loops through various parts of the record. And we're going to start off with the left hand side of the piano. We're going to bring in Logic's Steinway grand piano. And let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. Let's close off the side here. And then it goes down. Then it's going to go back up. It is an 8-bar pattern. All right, let me come back over here. And that just rings out. I'm going to push it a little bit over to the left, just to kind of get some spatial awareness in our record. All right, next, let's go ahead and duplicate that track. And let's go ahead and draw in the right side of our piano, or the right hand. All right, let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. All right, so let's go ahead and spread that over 2 octaves. And I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that for the entire 8-bar pattern. Just like that. I'm going to push this over to our right a little bit. I'm going to go back to our left-hand piano. I'm just going to put in a little bit of, make it a little bit fatter at the low end here. We're going to bring in Logic's overdrive. I want to be a thicker low end. So that just brings that out a little bit, makes it a little bit fatter. All right, let's go ahead and manipulate this sound over here. So this sound needs to be a little bit brighter here. So we're gonna go ahead and cut out some of the lows. Actually, let's reset this EQ. Let's cut out some of the lows. All right, and let's go ahead and boost some of the highs here. All right, so that makes it brighter. And then the next thing that we're going to do over here, we're going to go ahead and bring in a quick echo. Let's go ahead and take out this delay here, and let's go to echo, delay echo. We use the default settings that'll load up. We're just going to lower our wet value quite a bit. We're going to pull back the feedback so it's not too overcrowded. I'm going to pull back the color so it's a little bit darker as well. All right, so that's right there. Next, go ahead and create a new software instrument track. Let's unsolo this over here. And we're just going to go ahead and draw in this crash that happens at the beginning of, I want to say, every 8 bars. All right, let's go ahead and bring in Logic's EXS24 sampler instrument. We'll bring in that Sanguine Paradise drum kit. And let's go ahead and find where that crash is. There it is, right over there. I'm just going to add in a quick reverb on this. Bring in Logic Space Designer. We use the default setting. That'll load up. Just bring down the wet. Alright, so that sounds good like that. Let's go on and move over to the next section. Alright, so let's go ahead and move over to the next 8 bars. And we're going to create a new software instrument track. We can bring in this crash over here because it's going to happen again. And we're going to bring in Logic's retro synth right over here. We're going to work at the default settings that load up into it. And let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. Once again, it's an 8-bar sort of section, but the pattern repeats itself. It's only 1 bar. So we're going to go ahead and draw that right now. Alright, so there's the pattern right there. Let's go ahead and duplicate that over 8 bars. Just like that. Let's go ahead and open up Retro Synth. We're just going to go ahead and edit this sound a little bit. Just going to go ahead and just bring in a chorus over here. And just makes it a little bit wider sounding. I'm going to adjust the filter envelope over here. We're going to sort of slower up the attack. I'm going to slower up the attack of the envelope as well, the amp envelope, so the main one. All right, next let's go and open up Logic's EQ. Let's go and filter out some of the lows. And I'm going to filter out some of the highs as well. Just a little bit there. Maybe I'll bring up the resonance a little bit. I'm going to add some distortion here as well. So let's go ahead and bring in Logic's overdrive. I don't want it to be too nasty, but let's go ahead and just bring up the tone a little bit. Alright, so there's that sound right there. Next, let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track or duplicate that. And we're going to duplicate over the same pattern. I'm going to take off both those plugins. And we're going to bring back up the retro synth, and we're going to go ahead and layer up this sound with a brass. We're going to go to synth brass, and we're going to be using the vintage synth brass. Sorry, I can't talk today. All right, it sounds something like this. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're just going to pull back the cutoff here. We're going to go ahead and push our filter envelope right over here to get something like that. And we'll layer that up with our other sound over here. Maybe I'll put that EQ back on as well. Alright, and lastly, we're going to go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And we're going to go ahead and bring in this time a brass instrument. We're going to go to orchestral brass, and we're going to use the French horn solo. I'm going to copy that down, and it sounds like this. On this, I'm just going to pull the EQ a little bit more to take out some of those lows. I'm going to take all these 3 tracks and we're going to create a track stack, sum them all together, and just manipulate them as one. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with, we're going to bring in an echo here, delay up the sound a bit, put the dry to 100, and we're going to bring down the wet to about 20% as well. Actually, no, we'll just use the same echo as over here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's take this off. And let's just push this over. We're going to go ahead and bring in a reverb with a Logic Space Designer. And we're going to go to a large space, warp space. I just like to use this one over here. I'm going to lower this to about 18.5 dBs. Not too wet, not too crazy, but then we're going to bring in EQ and just make sure that it's not so much low end in this and it really leaves room for our 808. So let's cut out some of the lows here. I'm going to cut out some of the mids here. Bring that back up a little bit. All right, and maybe we'll bring down some of this as well over here, the upper mids. Not so much, but something like that. All right, and that's pretty much our sound over there. All right, now let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And let's go ahead and draw in that 808. We're gonna go to Logic's ES2, bring in that 808 preset we always use. We'll manipulate that in a moment, but let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. Let's just close here so we have more space. All right, let's go ahead and draw that in. Go down to a nice low octave, and let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. Back a little bit because we're going to go up here. And we're going to go back down. Let's go ahead and duplicate that. All right, so there's the pattern right there. Let's go ahead and open up ES2 and just adjust this a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and bring in a lot of drive. Pull up some distortion as well. Pull down our cutoff point. I'm going to pull up the attack so it's not as clicky. Pull down the release time as well so it doesn't ring out as long. Now we got our 808. All right, so now that we're gonna do over here is what happens is this doesn't actually go the 8 bars. So we're gonna push this back and this pattern comes into play. And we're gonna just copy over the same pattern down to here, down to here, down to here. there. Alright, let's go back to our drum kit over here, duplicate that, and let's go ahead and draw in a drum pattern on our snare, and let's take out that reverb, we don't want it. Let's go up to our snare, and then we get like a fast stutter here. I think it's a 30-second stutter. I think it's a little faster than that. And we're just going to go down the scale here. And let's just copy this down. And at the end over here, we just get another stutter. Whoa. We just get something like this. Alright, so now let's go ahead and move over to our next pattern. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring over the pianos like this. And then let's duplicate this track over here. We're going to draw in our clap. So it's just going to go on the 3s. Let me go off our brush tool. There's our clap. Just going to duplicate that over. I'm just going to duplicate that over there. Let's draw in our snare hits. Alright, so there's that right there. Alright, next let's go ahead and duplicate this track over here. And let's go ahead and draw in our vocal chant. So this section is actually only 4 bars in length. So let's go ahead and, sorry, 6 bars in length. So let's go ahead and cut that off. All right, let's go ahead and copy this over here. So we have this crash hit. And then we're gonna go ahead and draw in a second 808 here. So let's go ahead and draw that in right now. All right, so actually let's go ahead and just duplicate this 808 over here. We'll work off of that one. We'll just draw in the ones that we need to be added. And let's go bring in our cut scissor tool here. I think it cuts right over there. Alright, so that just repeats itself like that. And of course, this only goes for 6 bars, so I'm just going to copy this so we could use it later. And just push this one back, and we get this. there's like a little pause, and then we go into our next pattern over here, our next section. And I'm going to go copy over our pianos, the crash, like that. Copy over our clap. Then we're going to put in our snail roll at the end over here. Alright, the only thing we got to add here now is create a new, actually not going to create a new one. I'm just going to go ahead and use this one over here. And we're going to go ahead and draw in our hi-hats. Go ahead and open that up. Oh. Alright, then we get a fast hit over here. Alright, maybe it's not that fast. Just slow that down a bit. Alright, but go back to our pencil tool. Get another stutter over here. Let's go back to our pencil tool. All right, let's go ahead and focus on this section over here. Alright, let's go ahead and duplicate this over. And this last part here, it just goes down, I believe. Copy that over. Alright, and we're just going to go ahead and take all that, copy that over. And this is our pattern. Alright, and finally let's go over to our last section, and we're going to go ahead and copy over our pianos. We're going to take over our same drum pattern over here with the snare. We'll copy over our crash. We're going to copy over this section over here. And we get something like this. I'm going to bring in one more sound. It's sort of like a whistle that happens in the chorus. We're going to go ahead and bring in Logic's ES2 synthesizer. And we're only going to be using one oscillator, and that will be a sine wave. All right, so we'll come back and adjust the sound in a moment. But let's go ahead and just draw in this pattern over here. It is a 4-bar pattern. So let's just start off with that. And let's draw that. our ES2. And what we're going to do here is we're going to pull up the attack so it's not as clicky. We'll pull up our decay but bring down our sustain as well. Bring my release a little bit more up. I'm going to change this over to mono. Alright, so I'll leave it like that. I'm going to bring in an EQ. I'm just going to take out some of the low end here. I'm going to go ahead and bring in a reverb. Actually, I think I'm missing an open hat on my drums. I have an open hat in my kit. I just didn't put it in here. So let's go ahead and just put in that open hat hit over here. And let's go ahead and just find where that is. There it is, right over there. And I'm just going to put those in here manually. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and quickly arrange this for you guys and come right back. Alright, so we're back. I put together like a truncated version of the arrangement in the original track. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Listen to me we just put together. Lil Uzi Vert's track, Sanguine Paradise. Let's go. Alright, so that right there is Lil Uzi Vert's track Sanguine Paradise. For all your Logic users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you guys. Place that as a downloadable link in the description box below this video. For your non-Logic users out there, got your back as well. I'm going to go ahead and export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that we used in this tutorial. You can find that entire playback in the description box below this video. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go ahead and talk in the comment section below. And if you're new to I'm a Music Mogul and you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button. Also, on a side note, be sure to head on over to my Instagram page at I'm a Music Mogul. I have posted the winners to the SubLab plugin, so if you won them, congratulations. I will be sending you over the SubLab plugin shortly. Check to see if you won on my Instagram page at I'm a Music Mogul. That's it for me, guys. I'll talk to y'all soon. Later. Peace.